Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. Today is a really cool one, not because we're gonna announce the same boring thing like, hey, my 2025 E-Ray is the first one to be tuned, and you can tune it now. Nope. I'm going to announce some other cool stuff. So I just wanted to show you some of the cool things that, well, it's not me. I'm not actually up to it. It's Ike Automotive. That's Eric, who does a lot of tuning for me. He actually owns this E-Ray right here, and if you go in here, he actually rents that dyno from me. So we work together on a close basis, obviously, and Eric has gone really deep into it. Before we begin that, I'm going to start off with just sending this out and some of the hurdles that we had from actually getting this thing unlocked.
Welcome to Sirius XM.
What the
It's a need to hear everything you want.
Sirius, play Get Tuned.
What the? That scared the shit out of me.
Anyway,
I just shut the car off and it was like, welcome!
I guess you got subscribed to Sirius.
Yeah, so today, in No Shave November, we're sending out our 2025 E-Ray ECU to HP tuners to get unlocked. And we're hoping that this works because it is totally different than the 2024s and prior years. GM has tried to lock it down again, and now we're fighting the good fight.
So back in late November, we actually took my computer out of the E-Ray, sent it off to HP tuners to be unlocked. Because it was a 2025, they didn't know if they could even get into it. They just needed the computer to try to get through the bootloader. And luckily, they did. December 2nd, I got this bad boy back. This might even be the correct slip on it. And we were able to install it and start it right up. And then I got back from a family trip and began to try to work on it, only to be greeted with information like this. It says 2025 Chevrolet read and tire. Let's read it. Is it getting it? There's even flash data. I mean, so far this is just like the 2024. Let's see what information we get. Okay. The tune you've been supplied is a stock file, blah, blah, blah. This is one thing that I really like. I really like that they only give you a stock file, because then tuners cannot see what we've done. And that means that you can't really steal my tunes. It actually separates the people who know how to tune from the people who don't. Well, say that again. Stock. There's that other module. Ugh, I can't do it. Son of a bitch. That's right, it was still kind of locked. There was a factory tune on it, but there were no definitions available to actually work with anything. So with a little back and forth to HP tuners, they were able to get it unlocked, and now the sky's the limit. All right, gang, it is the new year now. So HP tuners finally got back to me. I mean, everybody was off for the new year, including us. And now we should be able to open it. Editor beta. And that means that it should be defined. I know that the computer itself was unlocked, which is great. That was like step one. Now, what do we have for a definition file for this guy? Let's see if we can open it up, get to 20. See, I got to skip over my 2024 and go to 2025. And let's see if we have access. Survey says, oh, something's happening. Oh, yeah. Let's see if we have anything in here that's useful. It looks like, gosh, it looks like it's fully defined. All right, so we're out tuning. Me and Mike are out tuning this thing now that we've got it. And Mike, how's the tune look? Does it look good? Yeah? Okay. Thanks for all your help, bud. The only person who gets to drink in my car. So I think the first thing I should start off with is something that everybody else has access to. PCM Rev Limit Patch. That's a new thing from HP Tuners. If you don't have it, download the beta. What this allows you to do is ignore a request from the TCM to use a rev limiter. The TCM is not tunable. That's one of the issues that we face with tuning the C8s right now. I hope this changes in the near future, but it's still been a hot minute, so we're still not there yet. And well, this is the best thing that we got for now. It's this TCM rev limit patch right here. You apply the code modification, and all that does is allow you to bypass the TCM commanded rev limiter. That means that if it starts not making the shift, instead of it just hitting the rev limiter right away, it'll just keep on going. And this is actually really cool for cam cars. This is cool for, you know, most of the cars, honestly. I've run into this a bit of time on the on my twin turbo version where it wasn't available yet and I couldn't get my 9-second pass. I should have had my 9-second pass, but never got it because I didn't have this patch. Now that we do have the patch, I'm really excited because I think we're going to get a 9-second pass naturally aspirated. So I think right now is a good time to go on a slight little tangent here and show you guys how to use launch control on your E-Ray or newer C8 Corvette, because there's a little new tidbit in here that not a lot of people know about. The main part about launch control is you're going to press firmly on the brake while stopped and then mash the gas, and that's going to bring up the RPM to a certain level depending on which mode you're in. If the engine is too cold, like this is at 117 degrees right now, or you're not in a competition or track mode, this is what's going to happen. You're going to press the brake down firmly, and you're going to see RPMs come up to about 2,000 RPMs, a little bit more, but that's it. That's all you got. If you use your knob here to switch over to sport mode, what you're going to be able to see is the same thing. Not very good. But if you switch to competition mode by double pressing traction control, now you got 3,500 RPM natively. And you can change this by going into performance and going all the way to the bottom and see where it has that check mark. You hit your fancy button here that takes you into the screen, and you can change settings to different custom RPMs or slip. Or we can go to 4,000. That sounds a little bit more ridiculous. Alternatively, you can go into track mode, and you see in track mode, it still doesn't go up. You actually need to go into what they call performance traction management if you have it available. If you have MagRide, it's available. If you don't, it'll just go into competition mode. And now you have your choice of different modes by selecting this. To exit either one of these, just press traction control once, and now you are out of the performance traction or competition mode, and you are free to move about the cabin. Now, one of the other ways to do launch control is to actually use the paddles. If you press and hold, release one, press it again, you're going to notice the RPMs just went up to 1,000 RPM. And if you modulate your foot, this is floored, it goes all the way to 4,000. You can control the launch RPM that you're looking for based off of this. It's pretty cool. It can be used in any mode with traction control on or off. And of course, when you're ready to launch, just release the brake. That's a quick overview on how to use launch control on your C8. You have basically 3 different ways to enter it, and it's pretty awesome. Have fun with it, try it, do it in a safe environment, and really work with that TCM patch. use manual mode to get that extra RPM. Okay, on to the next cool feature. Some of the other things that I want to show you are a little bit more dynamic and stuff that you can only really do here. And that's, I think the biggest one, well, the one that I think that you guys don't care about much is auto start stop. That thing we're able to change the temperature at which, the outside temperature at which it'll enable. And either we can say, okay, well, let's drop this down to 20 degrees, or we could say, okay, well, let's raise this up to like 150 degrees. So we can effectively enable it more or less. And finally, this is the coolest thing. This is the one that I wanted to tell you earlier, but just didn't. Oil pressure by demand. Now first, to test this, this working out, we tried it, oil pressure by RPM, and it worked. Watch this. As I go over 3,000 RPM, the oil pressure clicks up from like 35 to 50. It's awesome. And then comes right back down as we go under it. But we got a little bit more dynamic. And now when we go full throttle, now I'm just going to hold it in a high gear. That way, like, the RPMs don't go anywhere, but the oil pressure will. When I give it enough juice, you're going to see the oil pressure click up. And then when I let off, you're going to see it click back down. Oil pressure by engine demand. How freaking cool is that? So I think if we had oil pressure by engine demand earlier, a lot of engines would have been saved that have fallen due to lack of mid-range oil pressure. What I mean by that is when we start making a lot of power, a lot of torque really, so like overspinning the LT4 blower or putting a Magnuson on and starting to go, you know, to town here, one of the things that we run into is we're actually going through a power band that's still in an economy oil pressure like area, hanging out at low oil pressure. That's not exactly ideal for the power that we're trying to put down, the torque that we're trying to put down, which is mechanically trying to push the rod and piston and take that and jam it into the crankshaft. And that's what the oil pressure is there. It's basically it's a barrier to prevent those from touching. And when you make enough power, you end up touching it. You overpower the oil pressure and end up spinning a bearing. So I think that having that extra mid-range oil pressure is going to save a lot of engines. And I wish we had it earlier, but definitely give Eric credit where it's due, because Eric is a genius and he got that thing working now, which is awesome. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Adios.